In the ancient village of Umuagu, surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a girl named Adaora. She was 14 years old, the eldest daughter of Okeki, a skilled hunter, and Neka, a talented weaver. Adaora was known throughout the village for her kindness. Her hands were as gentle as a soft breeze. Her words were always sweet, and her heart was filled with dreams of a brighter future. She loved to spend her afternoons under the shade of the old mango tree near her home, listening to the elders share stories of brave warriors, cunning spirits, and the eternal struggle for justice. Life in Umuagu was peaceful, but peace can sometimes hide dark secrets. In the stillness of the night, a shadow moved silently among the villagers, a shadow that only Adaora could see. This shadow belonged to Uncle Abuka. Though Abuka was not her real uncle, he was one of her father's closest friends. He was a man of great wealth and high standing in the village. He owned vast lands, traded with foreign merchants, and lived in a house larger than any other in Umuagu. The villagers trusted and respected him, believing him to be a good man. But monsters do not always hide in the dark. Sometimes they walk among us in broad daylight, wearing friendly smiles. Each night, under the gentle glow of the moon, this monster came to Adaora. It all began when Adaora was just 12 years old. One evening, after a long day helping her mother weave baskets for the village market, Adaora lay down on her mat to rest. The room was dimly lit by a flickering oil lamp, its flame dancing like a restless spirit. Outside, the night was alive with the sound of chirping crickets and the distant howl of a lone dog. The warm air carried the scent of burning firewood and damp earth. Adaora was drifting into sleep when she heard the slow, deliberate creak of her door opening. Her heart stopped. At first, she thought it was her mother checking on her, but when she turned her head, she saw him, Uncle Abuka. Tall and broad-shouldered, he stood at the doorway like a living shadow. The moonlight behind him cast his silhouette on the earthen floor. Her hands turned cold. Her body refused to move. He took slow, silent steps towards her. "Adaora," he whispered, his breath thick with the scent of palm wine. She wanted to scream, but her throat closed up like a trap. "Be a good girl, stay quiet. No one will believe you. If you speak, something bad will happen." And just like that, he stole her innocence. For the next 2 years, Uncle Abuka returned, each time whispering the same chilling threat before he left. "You must not tell anyone." Adaora believed him. She carried the pain alone, bearing it deep within her chest where no one could see. Her mother would smile at her in the mornings, but Adaora would only nod. Her father would ask if she was feeling well, and she would respond with, "I am fine." But she was not fine. She was drowning in silence. In the village, there were other children Adaora's age. Her closest friend was Chiamaka, a girl known for her intelligence and bravery. Chiamaka often visited Adaora, bringing stories of her own family and the little adventures she had. Despite Adaora's efforts to hide her pain, Chiamaka noticed a change in her friend. "Adaora, you seem different," Chiamaka said one day as they sat by the river, their feet dangling in the cool water. "Is something wrong?" Adaora shook her head, forcing a smile. "I am fine, Chiamaka, just tired." Chiamaka frowned but didn't press further. She knew Adaora would speak when she was ready. Another figure in the village was Ozoamena, the wise village elder who often told stories under the mango tree. He had seen many seasons and could sense when something was amiss. Ozoamena would watch Adaora with knowing eyes, suspecting that there was a heavy burden she carried. One afternoon, as the sun painted the sky in shades of gold and orange, Adaora walked to the river with a bundle of clothes on her head. The cool breeze played with her wrapper, and the scent of wet earth filled her nostrils. She knelt by the water, dipping the first cloth in and scrubbing it against the smooth washing stone. The water was clear, reflecting the sky like a mirror. Then she heard footsteps approaching. She turned and saw an old woman, dressed in white, sitting on a rock nearby. Her face was wrinkled with age, but her eyes held the fire of wisdom. "You are troubled, my child," the woman said, her voice as calm as the river. Adaora lowered her gaze. "I am fine, Mama." The old woman shook her head. "The river hears things. The trees whisper when a child suffers, and the wind carries the cries of those who are afraid to speak." Adora's hand stopped scrubbing. Her heartbeat quickened. Did she know? The woman leaned closer. "If you do not speak, the evil will grow. One day it will consume you. Adaora's fingers tightened around the wet cloth. What if Uncle Abuka never stopped? What if he started hurting other girls? What if she never escaped? And then a new thought entered her mind. What if she spoke? That night, for the first time in 2 years, Adaora made a decision. When the sun set and the villagers retreated into their huts, Adaora prepared herself. She took a deep breath and hid a small knife under her mat. Then she waited. And as expected, he came. The moment Uncle Abuka stepped into her room, Adaora let out the loudest, most piercing scream she had ever made. It shattered the night. Her father, mother, and younger brother Chijioke rushed out of their rooms. The neighbors woke up, grabbing their lanterns. Uncle Abuka tried to run, but the men caught him. The villagers dragged him to the village square, where the elders gathered beneath the ancient Iroko tree, the tree where truth could never hide. Ibuka, is this true? The chief asked. His lips trembled, but no words came. For the first time, the powerful man had no power. Adaora stepped forward, and she told everything. The women wept. The men clenched their fists, and justice was decided. Uncle Abuka was to be banished forever. But the gods had their own plans. That night, as Uncle Abuka walked alone into the forest, the wind howled like an angry spirit. The villagers watched from afar, their eyes filled with silent judgment. He reached the riverbank, and suddenly, a strong wind blew. A shadow moved among the trees. Then, a blood-curdling scream pierced the night. By morning, his body was found floating in the river. His face was frozen in terror, his eyes wide open, as if he had seen something horrifying before he died. The old women whispered, "The spirits of the river have taken him," and the village knew justice had been served. And Adaora? She was free. She had found her voice. The morning after Uncle Abuka's body was found, the village gathered in silence. The elders called for a meeting in the village square. Adaora stood beside her father, her hands trembling, but her heart strong. Uzumina, the old storyteller, spoke first. The gods have judged, but let us not forget, it was Adaora's courage that brought the truth into the light. The women nodded, murmuring amongst themselves. The young girls looked at Adaora with newfound respect. Night, silence is the weapon of evil, and truth is the shield of the innocent. She had learned the most powerful lesson of all. A girl's voice is stronger than fear.